So, did you hear the new episode of Black Writer Doula Therapy?
No, not yet.
They are doing something completely different and out of the box. Like, it's mad crazy.
How different could it be?
No, seriously. Like, I've never heard a book podcast like this before.
White people know?
Nah.
Ella?
Yeah, it's still Ella Shine.
Okay, I guess I'll tune in then.
Welcome to the Black Writer Doula Therapy Podcast, where Black women writers are amplified, celebrated, and invited to be their unapologetic Black women selves. Each month, a Black woman writer joins host and unlicensed therapist Ella Shawn on her proverbial couch for candid conversations about writing, healing, and just about everything in between. For the rest of the month, Ella chooses hot topics from that conversation to delve deeper into and offer somatic-based, trauma-informed Black writer doula strategies. These strategies are designed to keep Black women writing through the difficult moments. Because the world is hell-bent on erasing our stories, and our ancestors and future descendants are depending on us to tell the truth of who we are. So, if you're ready for a podcast that offers more than author interviews and behind the book insights, then be sure to join us every Thursday on the Alive Podcast Network app or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. If you aren't supporting our storytellers, then don't complain about what is written about you and everybody else's version of our history.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Enia Oaks, for joining me here at Black Writer Therapy and sitting on my proverbial couch. I feel totes honored that you're here. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good. I'm good. You know how it is, juggling life, but I am happy to be here.
Look, I don't even try and juggle it anymore. I just let all the balls drop and I pick up the ones that seem to be most important and corral the ones that are trying to roll away. It's all gravy. They'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a good philosophy.
I think so. It's, you know what it is? It's older, right? I'm older now. I used to try and carry them all like this. And then I tried to do that, right? The juggling. And oh yeah, throw another one in. I'm good. And then I got
Yeah.
older and I'm like, girl, bye. What are you doing? What are you doing? You are a woman. You don't even know how to handle balls. Let them drop. Just let them drop, right? Pick up what you want. That's what I've been doing. It's working for me. It's working.
That's wisdom.
You don't even know how to handle balls. And that is my Wednesday wisdom for today. I don't know. That's not why. My gosh. I
Or
want
maybe
to.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
I said maybe we're not meant to, be juggling so much. Like maybe that's the wisdom behind it all.
That part. That part. So I want to give my listeners and your listeners an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about you. So we've shared some of your biography, right, in the beginning, but I wanted to just kind of ask you first and foremost, because we're talking about your book, which I can't wait to get into because duh. And I love the title. So can you share the title and then share a little bit about where the title came from?
Yeah, so my book is titled From a Studio in Oakland, California. And then the subtitle is 108 Notes on Existence. The title came from both where I physically was in my life when I wrote it, but also existentially where I was when I wrote it. When I was living in Oakland, I had quit my job. I had actually moved to California. I'm an ER physician, so I joined a private group. And I was living in San Francisco, and got burned out, just burned myself out completely. And at the end of that experience, I just quit, put all of my stuff in storage, and went traveling. I went to see my family, went to see my friends, and just reconnect with my life. And then when I returned to the Bay to, start working again, I actually moved over to Oakland because I had been on the San Francisco side. And I was just contemplating the bigness of life and what exactly it is that I wanted, because I had just spent all this time, hanging out with my mom and, just feeling how good life can feel again. So then to now juxtapose that with trying to jump back into something that had burned me out, it was a moment of pause, and I just started writing. And, I get into these themes in the book, but so much of what I found that I felt obligated to keep and adhere to were from all these places of conditioning, all these things that I felt I had to be, all these things that I felt I had to prove or do. And so that's where a lot of these essays and poems came from, just exploring those themes. And it was really cathartic for me to write.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine. Don't tell me why that's a section, girl. That's a whole section in the podcast. Like we can't give too much away. You said that you were burnt out and you went traveling and then coming back, having to take
hmm
that pause. How much writing did you do during your traveling that facilitated the need to write in this moment of pause for you?
Yeah. So I'm always writing in a journal. It's something I've done since I was a kid. So that kind of writing I've been doing. But I actually read quite a lot. When I was traveling, it was less output and more input.
Oh,
I
wow.
read a lot of I read a lot of bell hooks, and I was like, "Oh, is this what's going on in society?" And I was just consuming so much information because for the first time in a long time, I actually had the time
Mhm.
to. And my journal was just for me. It was just a, how am I doing? What's going on? Gling of my life. And the actual writing for, you know, output and posting and all of that was afterward, after I'd already returned.
Did you know you were going to write a
Yeah.
book?
I did not actually. When I started writing, I started posting on Instagram, and then people started reaching out to me how the things I was writing was impacting them and was helping them. And I, at that point, was like, maybe this is worth compiling. But
Mm,
in that writing, I was going through my old journals. Like I have probably close to a dozen at this point from age 8. I still have that, and a lot of the things, like the essays that I ended up writing about were themes I had already explored in my life, and I was like, both for me, I would like this as a compacted, just like manual I'll take around with me, but also people are telling me that they're really resonating with, the things that I've written. So, yeah, that's how the book kinda came to be. I never intended to write a book. I didn't.
you just gave me
Yeah.
goosebumps. Really, you just gave me
Yep.
goosebumps. Yes, because you're like, I went back and looked at all of my journals, and these are things that I've been grappling with since age 8. And it makes me feel like, why in this Western society do we not give our children the right to speak and the
Mhm,
right to be heard? Because literally they know, right? Like you
mhm,
know things when you're a kid
mhm,
and you're not questioning it. You know them. But
mhm,
then your society says, kids should be, nobody needs
mhm,
to. And then the poor kid is now stuck with all this stuff that they can't work out until they become
mhm,
adults. Oh my
mhm.
gosh, is that what's happening? Like, are we just discounting all of our children when they're kids and then they have to grow up to deal with it where it's been festering? Is that a thing?
I absolutely think it's a thing, and I don't know that my parents intended it to be this mental health tool. I had always loved drawing and art, and I was always with, like, some kind of tool or paper in my hand. So I think
Mm-hmm.
the journal came in as an extension of that. But you're right, kids notice everything. They notice everything, and even when they don't know what it is that they're noticing, you know, they still notice it, and that's what the experience was for me. I was writing all these things, and I had no idea what it was that I was actually perceiving. I was just like, okay, this person seems like they feel like this. This person seems like they're doing this. I don't really know what that means, but you're just getting
Mm-hmm.
it all down. And then now with my adult eyes, I like go back and I'm like, huh, you know?
Okay, that
And yeah, because it's like now you have the life experience. Now you have the actual wisdom to be like, that's what was happening. I didn't understand it at 8. I didn't understand it at 12, but it's like
oh my
this, like,
gosh.
yeah, if I ever have children, I'm absolutely giving them a journal. I'm like, this
Yes.
is, yeah, I've never been a
I don't know if
parent, so
that's a
yeah,
study. I have 3 daughters. I have
yeah,
3 daughters. One will
yeah,
be 25 this year, one will be 22, and one turns 19
yeah,
on Sunday. So yeah, that was always my thing. Keep a journal, pens, art
mhm,
and crafty things, because kids need outlets to express everything that
mhm,
they perceive, that they're
mhm,
able to kind of, I don't want to say see and hear that we can't, but see and hear that we can't, right? And I'm like,
mhm,
yeah, they draw on the walls. And I'm like, that's okay, there's paint. Because they have
mhm,
to have an outlet, right? They have to
mhm,
have an
absolutely,
outlet to process it. But yeah, that was just really huge for me. That whole little,
yeah.
I look back and I saw the same things I'm writing about as an adult.
Mhm. These themes, they just recur over and over and over again, and I strongly believe that, like, one of my I don't think this made it into the book, but one of my core beliefs is that the universe will give you the same, I call it math problem, but it'll give you the same math problem over and over and over again until you master what it is that you're supposed to learn from it.
And
At
that's a
the end
truth. I'm going to call it a truth because it's something that I say all the time. And you and I
Mhm,
obviously never met, but I say that all the time, that anything that keeps popping up, that is the universe is
mhm,
saying, hey, you did not pass this test. You don't know anything about
exactly,
this unit. Study, try again. Yeah,
exactly,
do it again.
yes.
Wow. Okay. Here we go. Here we are. Very nice. And I think the audience is like, oh, another one. I keep
Yeah,
aligning with you all. Healing, self-inquiry, the sacredness of ordinary life. Like, ooh, girl, the poetry, the sacredness of ordinary life, the poetry in that tiny little phrase, right? In the
mhm.
vernacular, in the everyday. Please speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's something that I realize is actually, a luxury to be able to be that present in your life, and it wasn't until I put down all of these pieces, when I quit after being burned out and I, went and I was just cooking and riding my bike and reading, and then suddenly I've I've always enjoyed being in nature, but suddenly the colors are vivid. Suddenly, you know, this walk feels magical and there's nothing different
Hmm.
about it's the same house my parents have lived in, since I was 14. There's nothing different about the
Right,
street, but
right.
suddenly everything is different, everything is more vivid and alive, and it it's only in the absence of the stress and anxiety of everything else we carry that you just get to feel like life feels beautiful. So it's not something that's just, when you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, the last thing you're noticing is the bird. If anything, you're
Exactly
like,
right.
"Ah," yeah, if anything, you're like, "Oh, this bird is so loud."
Exactly. Exactly. Everything is
Yeah.
an annoyance. Everything is a problem when you're in the midst of a problem, which is, not living, existing. Just good
Mhm.
grief. We have not even gotten into the podcast yet. And you've been like dropping gems, gems, gems. I love that. The sacredness of ordinary life. Like, this is something that I found. I think I found this out when I was maybe 12. And I'm not going to go into the story because it's ridiculously bucolic and black country stuff here in South Carolina. So we're not going to go into the whole story, but let's just know my mom and I had to move into an old family home that was like my
Mhm.
great grandmother's home because
Mhm.
of other things that happened. And so and it's not a special house, right? It had 4 rooms with no hallway. And I
Mhm.
always find houses like that to be very interesting. And the long wide porch, so a kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and a little bathroom and the den.
Yeah.
And I was just like, we had to leave our big house, our big brick house, and come here to this little board house. But my great grandmother had all of her children in that house. My grandma,
Yeah.
all of my great aunts and uncles, they were all born in this house that I was now living in. And I said to my mom, I says, well, I'm just going to have to make the best of this. And you know how some people say, oh, you're
Mhm.
delusional if you're like, I'm like, okay, this is my house. I'm on my own.
Yeah.
I was like 12, right? So like I'm living on my
Yeah.
own and I just have a little house. This is all I can afford. And when I tell you, I started cleaning and mopping and painting and doing all the things because, okay, Delulu, we have to do what we have to do in order to be okay with where we are, right? I took so much pride in sweeping the porch and making sure the
Mhm.
house was clean and fresh. And I put fresh flowers, all the things that like
Mhm.
that house is now my dream house. How crazy
Mhm.
is that, right? Like that is my dream house. This little tiny 700 square foot 4-room house with no hallways because that is where I felt most connected to like myself, to the land that I was on, to the people that were here before me. And that was such a powerful experience. And that is what
Yeah.
this is, the sacredness of ordinary life. This is what my ancestors did. This is what my grandma did. She
Yeah.
kept her house
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
it's literally tapping into something ancestral, exactly like you're saying. And
Yeah.
it's energy that's you can feel it. You can feel the
Mm,
gravity of, when you're connected to something that's just that real.
mhm,
I guess I'll say it that way. Yeah,
yeah,
that's beautiful.
so
So do you still own the house?
no, the house did not make it. I mean, it was old. It was really
Oh,
old. Oh my gosh, no, it's still there. It's still on family land. It's
hmm,
still on family land. Look at you. I'm sitting here thinking because I haven't been down there forever, but the house is still on family land. That's crazy.
amazing. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not supposed to be getting all thoughtful here. Wow. A voice rooted in both precision and emotional depth. I think the fact that you are an ER physician and a creative, I am always fascinated by science and creativity and how it comes together. Like
Mhm.
you guys are the 4-quadrant brain people, right? Like there's not much you really like I taught for like 14 years. I taught high school English and I had so many students who were like 4-quadrant brain folk, and there was nothing they couldn't do. So they didn't know what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You you span the full spectrum. You start off with when I was a kid, I thought I would be an artist because I mentioned like I drew a lot, but then I also loved creating and structure. So then I was like, oh, maybe I'll be an architect. I love, houses and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then with science, that kind of works its way in there, and somehow I ended up a doctor.
Like
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like I'm listening to you, I'm looking at you. You feel like my daughter and my niece. They are 4 months apart. They'll both be
Mhm.
25 pretty soon. But they're the 4-quadrant girls and they can do anything. So they don't know what they want to do. And so
Yeah.
one is actually decided, my niece is going to med school. And my daughter is like, I'm going to do what I want to do, but not something that is already being done. And what that means, I don't know. But I know she's brilliant, so I'm not worried, at all. Like I
Mhm.
know she's going to change the world, but she is very much, I'm not working for anyone. And I'm not going to live like
Mhm.
I'm in a rat race. I am going to live
Mhm.
according to the way I know I'm supposed to live. So she's,
Mhm.
I want to be mad at her because I didn't have that option, but I can't be mad at her because I admire
Mhm.
everything she's doing, right? I really do admire it.
Mhm.
And I let her know, but she's just
Mhm.
like, I don't know. It's going to take a while. That's okay. You're on your own journey.
Mhm. Quite literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you remind me a lot of her. It's very, really brilliant. You're welcome. Let me see what else. Okay, because I'm into this and I want to know how this is working for you. Spoken pieces designed as an audio follow up to your book to attune listeners to their soul's frequency. Miss Ma'am, you are speaking my language. Like all of this is like I'm getting warm and fuzzy over here. So
Yeah.
have you done this? Are you doing
No, I
this?
have this is my, summer project, is what I call it. Thank you so much. This is my summer project is what I call it. It's an extension of writing for me because the script for everything, is I have to write it out, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm also sourcing, the background music and trying to figure out the exact vibe and the energy that I want the audio tracks to have. But it's exciting because I'm not a musician, but I love music. And yeah, and I'm like, why not? At this point we're creating, so let's just keep creating, you know?
Oh my gosh, so can I freak you out a little bit?
Yes.
Not a musician. I sing though. Like that, I
Yeah.
have this instrument right here, but I can't read
Yeah.
music and none of that, right? And so
Mhm.
I write poetry and I write songs. And sometimes it's just like, you get a song in your head and you have the lyrics and you have tune and everything, but I can't play an instrument. So I just sing it into a memo. So I was looking for, and I am not, my daughters are like, don't use Chat GPT. And I said, okay, I'm going to leave chat alone. But I found this
Mm.
GPT. Let me say, you upload your lyrics and you like tell it, this is exactly what I want it to sound. This is the rhythm I need. These are the moods I want to invoke, da, 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 da,
Oh,
all the things. And I promise you, it's a whole bop, a whole song.
wait.
I've never done this. I have never done this, but I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share my screen and let you hear. It's not me singing. Okay. Just
Yeah.
know that. Do you want to hear it? Because like you may not want to hear it. I don't know. Let me find the thing.
Yeah. I hear it.
Okay. And my children are like, but it's not your song. I'm like, but it totally is because that's why I downloaded my rights. These are my songs.
Wait,
Right.
so it's like a GPT and you put in all the info that you want from it and then it gives you a song? That's
I'm going to go,
amazing.
look, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up because like it's a necessary thing. Wait a minute. Give me 1 minute. So when I say me and Zoom have a love-hate relationship, we
Feel
do.
that.
Okay. I'm trying to put this one screen that I need on another computer. There we are. I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
I'm
I do
fascinated
not.
by this.
Okay, here we are. I'm sharing. And did I say, can we
But yeah,
share computer sound stereo? Okay, good. So I'm going to I don't, oh, do you think it'll still do? Yes, because I said share computer sound. Because I'm like, I have my headphones on. It should be fine. Yeah, all of this is what I've done from my writing and from other things.
this is amazing. I love these titles.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll do this one. My favorite version of It's About Me. And this was actually a song that I wrote.
It's not about you, it's about me. I get to decide just how I breathe. It's not out there, it's not in them. I live for myself again and again. I don't care what they think of me. I'm a sovereign entity. I rule my world like only I can. I can be anything, yeah, anything I dream. So don't you worry about what I'm doing. This life is mine and that's the truest movement. It's not about you, it's not about them. I move like the wind, I rise from within. It's not selfish to choose my peace, to choose what's best, to choose release. It's not about the world, won't be about the game. My world begins and ends with what I claim. What I do for me, I do in truth. And when I give as I choose. No regret, no guilt, no shame. I give again unchained, unnamed. Do you see? Do you feel the key? The moment I choose me, the moment let myself be. That's healing, that's living in my highest frequency. It's not love, it's not hope, it's not
You're good. So much. I love that so much.
Yeah, I love it because, like you said, I'm not a musician, but like that doesn't mean I can't still make music. And I was going to create my own GPT to do this, but I was like, oh my gosh, someone's already done this.
I'm astounded. And I love those lyrics. I know that's what we were doing there, but I love the lyrics so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love that you can arrange it however you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And tell it exactly what you need it to be. Then it kicks it out. And it's so crazy because like that's exactly like how it sounded in my mind. And when I was just kind of singing it into my phone memo, that's the rhythm. And if you write the right prompt, then you get exactly what you want.
I love that. I feel like I want to explore that now. There's so much with you. It's like a personal, I mean, your lyrics were like affirmations. I imagine that you do those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That may be an option, but I'll send you some information for it. Because when you said I was like, oh my gosh, yes, please do that.
I hadn't even made it that far. Like what I had pictured was like almost spoken word with like background music, but I hadn't even considered the integration because I was like, I don't have the skills for this, but that's cool.
And there we are. So there we are. I love that. Yeah. I love that you have a desire to help listeners find their soul's frequency because so many people don't even recognize the importance of frequency in their lives. So good for you. Good on you. We have been talking and chatting and now listening to music, and I've not asked you my favorite question yet. So here we are. How are you healing today?
I am healing I've committed to doing only what is good for my soul. And it's easier said than done. It's something that requires, a willingness to break down the things that aren't working, the things that don't fit in that. And like each time I, for example, stand up for myself or say, no, this doesn't feel aligned, or no, I'm not going to do this. It feels almost like I'm like putting some fuel in the soul tank, so to speak. That in and of itself is healing. And it's remarkable because, I grew up in a family of 5 siblings. I'm the oldest girl, but, second in the family. So I have, several younger siblings, the youngest of whom is 22. She just graduated college. So she's, just starting out. And it's by insisting on taking care of myself, I've noticed that I can be more present, people I care about. And it almost seems paradoxical because it's like I'm investing more energy in me, but somehow it allows me to show up better, in the ways that I care about. So it's just a commitment to the way that I live my life is the way that I'm primarily healing these days.
You are healing by living. Like that's revolutionary. Like that's a whole box there. So write that down somewhere.
I should be taking notes.
I'm just saying, just write that down somewhere because how are you healing? I'm healing by living because that's what we're here to do. Wow.
Well, what was a huge revelation in my life that even got me to this point of viewing that as healing. I've realized the ways that the world has devalued that which is the feminine. And I don't mean that in like the like catchy, like social media way, but in the like presence and love and groundedness that our mothers have, our grandmothers have, that is the essence of their being. It's become so devalued that to somebody I could say, I'm healing by living. And they're like, so you're not doing anything, because it's become so devalued. And I had to deconstruct that own devaluation in my mind. And in some ways, it's antithetical to going out and pursuing higher, academia and things like that, because that's the doing. But then to also place equal value on the living and just being is something that I had to unlearn was, weak or, soft, lazy or unworthy, all these things. And
Yep. I'm just like, Keep that going, keep that coming, because you are 100% right. And it's like, it's not everywhere, right? But Western civilization, for some reason, seems to have a chokehold on humanity that knows better, that's in the majority and knows better. Even if it's not like conscious knowledge, there is a knowing within the self that this does not make sense. We are not here to work. We're not here for that. We are here to experience, to live, to create, to learn all the things, but not work. What are you working for?
Yeah.
Why am I paying for water when it's flowing freely out in the sea? Like, what is happening? What are we doing?
That part, like, it's one of those things that when you start pulling on the string, the whole thing starts coming undone, because it really is at the core of Western society, capitalism, all these conversations, and how it's not intuitive and how it's not what we're really meant to be doing. Unfortunately, in this day and age, those are dirty words because, we are equal to our productivity. Yeah, it runs deep. It runs really deep.
I think that's so sad too. It's so sad because it keeps those of us who are creators, it keeps us in this kind of constant state of, please stop, it's my cat, sorry. It keeps us in a constant state of flight or fight because we can't rest, we can't relax, we can't breathe. I was in the class that I'm teaching, a writing class that I'm teaching, and one of the participants said, I find that I'm able to take regular breaths, and I used to call those deep breaths, and that shut me up. She's like, I find that like after 4 months in here, I can take a regular breath, and I realized those were my deep inhalations and exhalations. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, we're mostly sipping air here. We don't even breathe correctly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That feels extremely relatable. But you have to feel safe enough to take that deep breath,
And there you go.
Yeah.
And when have we, right? When have Black women been safe? Well, all right. So look, we have solved the entire world's problem. Now we just need people to listen. Listen. Yeah. I'm reading this book. I'm listening to this book, A Sky Full of Elephants, or A Sky Filled with Elephants. I think that's it. But basically it's speculative fiction, and this big event happened where all the white people went into the water and didn't come back. And now you just have global majority who are here and trying to figure out, now, who am I and what am I without the racialization? And I'm like, oh my God, the book is so good. It's really good because you ask that question, like you have to sit and think with that, right? So what if one day? And then what? Are we still going to be separate? Are we going to be X, Y, and Z? Are we going to systems in place? How does that go? And that's what, it's a really good book.
It has to be a fiction book. And it's also, maybe I have this perspective because I was born in Nigeria. So I lived there. My family lived there until I was 5. And then we moved to the US. And so my parents were, adults when they moved to the US. And I actually have a poem in the book titled I Am Home that touches on this because it wasn't until moving here that I experienced that I wasn't quote unquote normal. That I wasn't okay as I was. And in that essay, I'm like, people live their whole lives never interacting with white people. Like there are cultures on this planet that have never interacted with white people. And they are just fine. They're thriving. They're beyond, they have their own ecosystems. They have their own, dynamics and hierarchies in this. And it just makes so much sense that there is a world outside of whiteness. And, even though I was only 5 when I moved here, I'm like, I know exactly what that is. My name's not weird. My name is not, odd.
Just like you're saying, all the right things. I have friends who've gone to Africa, specifically Ghana, right? Because I think that's probably one of the closest ports to get into. And so they're in Sierra Leone. which they are dealing with so much right now. And so, but the thing that they all come back with is, I just felt like me. I wasn't a Black woman. I was just a woman,
I was
just a
just
woman. I said, I don't know how that feels.
yeah. Yeah. It actually is quite it's a tragedy to the self-esteem of children, particularly when they're not insulated from that kind of messaging. And no one should have to feel that anything that is intrinsic to who you are as a person is odd, but
Mm-hmm.
because there are the like ruling parties and the, beauty standards and this, then it's suddenly my nose is too big. It's suddenly, my name is too long. All these things
Yeah.
that are not objective. They only exist in
Yeah. Yeah.
some
I
other.
remember coming home from kindergarten saying, "Hey, mommy, why am I so ugly?" Because I was in the first class being bused. And so I was in school with all
Mhm.
of these little white kids and their long, shiny ponytails, and all the books had little white kids and they had backpacks with them on it. And I was just like, here I am, a brown grease ball, right? Because, get the face all
The
greased up.
Vaseline.
And I was just like, why am I so ugly? And my mom was like, who do I need to go down to the school for? Right.
Yeah.
Nobody, because nobody said it was ugly, but it was just that kind of, I don't look like anybody in this classroom. Nobody in this
Mhm.
classroom looks like me. And all of the books look like them. And they
Mhm.
smell like strawberries. And I smell like grease, right? The oil,
Mhm.
hair oil, and all the things. And I was just like, you get it so early. I was 5. I was
Mhm.
5 going on 6. And it's just like, no one said anything, but I felt so
Mhm.
out of place. And I had never experienced that, in all honesty, because I grew up in a Black community. I went to a Black preschool. I went to a Black church. All the people I knew were Black. Even though I saw white folk, like when we went to
Mhm.
the grocery store, my mind never even registered them as people because they didn't look like the people I saw
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Like it was like background information.
Not we look like that and go through that phase. I don't know why.
Mhm.
That was a horrible phase. It was very painful.
Yeah. But like
Painful.
we said, children are perceptive,
Mm-hmm.
like no one had to tell you that you were not the standard. You even as a 5-year-old, you look around and you're like, why is my hair not yellow?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's heartbreaking.
It is. I love that you that you have that experience. I was fine. My name is fine. I'm fine. I love that. I don't know
My name
how
is
we could ever create that situation. I mean, not unless we
yeah.
fill the sky full of elephants. That's the thing. Anyway, let me, my FBI agent might be looking. So
I always put up with
we,
that. Just kidding, FBI.
yeah, just check it. I think we're ready for this book. We're ready to talk about from a studio in Oakland, California, 108 notes of existence, like so specific.
Mhm.
108 notes. And I don't know why this number is like doing something to me. 108. I don't know why. I'll look it up later. So this is a hybrid work. Yes?
It is a hybrid work, and the number 108 was actually chosen intentionally in a lot of like spiritual practices and like uh yoga, but also like other spiritual practices. The number 108 signifies wholeness and completion. And when I was just exploring like how many of these essays and poems I wanted to write, I was just like researching the different significance of, different numbers. And I was like, oh, that feels perfect. That feels, that's the whole goal of this book is to give the readers something that can help them find their way back to, a more whole version of
Mhm.
themselves. Yeah. So it's a hybrid work
Yeah.
of poems, essays, and it explores different themes. So it explores the self and then healing, and then love in other people, and then the journey of life, beauty and existence. So touching on some of the things we mentioned, just, noticing the sacredness of your everyday life. And then the final section is called Farther Than Thought. And that's the one that explores like spirituality and religion and just these bigger ideas of self and how, you engage with your life and things like that.
Wow. I'm reading through some of what you gave me, and like this number 108, like I said, it was doing something to me and I don't know why. So I love that you're so intentional with that. You are a doctor, a medical doctor. You're my first medical doctor. No, because I look, and so I'm not completely out of it. There's the medical definition of intentions. And I ask this all the time. Do you know?
The medical definition of intentions?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
Okay. Oh, wow. This is exciting. So it means that it's the healing process of a wound.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That primary intention, secondary intention. Yes. Wow. I didn't even.
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, she knows this. She knows this.
Yeah.
It's my favorite word. It is my favorite definition. It's the only one I use. I found it because I'm like, words have way too much power for me to just take them at face value, right? Am I crazy? No, I'm not. So I'm always looking at words and breaking them down etymologically and comparing them to more ancient languages that make more sense. Sanskrit and any of the like Zulu, and I don't speak any of it. Just let me go ahead and put that out there. However, I know that those languages are original languages, and so they give me a better understanding of each word. And so I was looking at intentions, and I was like, yeah, this word, everybody uses it. And I'm like, I don't think it's right though. I don't think intentions are like this goal setting thing that we've been fed. And when I found that definition, I was like, that's exactly what an intention is. We're here to heal and heal, the wounds not only in our soul, but the soul of humanity. So that's like why I always say we write intentionally. Black women tend to write intentionally without intentionally writing, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
that's why I got a little excited when I was like, oh my gosh, you're a doctor. And I was like, you're like, yes, we said that.
I never
I
connected
was,
that definition of intentions. I never connected that before. That's awesome.
yeah. Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yep. I love it. So the act of writing was an exhale. Like you have such beautiful phraseology. Literally, I cannot wait to get this book. You have beautiful phraseology.
Thank you.
Is that like a natural thing? Like, did you study? I want to be a beautiful writer. Let me study. Or is this just who you are?
There's a train
It's okay.
going by. Of course, the timing. So before we started recording, I mentioned that I read quite a bit. Like growing up, I always loved reading, but also me personally, in the way that I speak, I try to be very specific in communicating. I've always been that way. And in order to be the most specific, you have to know enough words to, say exactly what you mean and only what you mean.
Yes.
And I think my writing is an extension of the way that I speak in my life. I don't know if you notice, I take a lot of pauses, and my pace is very, I don't know, kind of choppy, but I've learned to like it just because I'm like, that's my brain searching for the exact right word that I want to put there. Yeah. So my writing.
I love that. Seriously. Like that's a workshop. How to take time when you're speaking, because most people don't, and they just word vomit. And when they realize all the crazy that they say, and some of it's painful, some of it hurts. And I'm like, you can't unsneeze a sneeze, and you can't take back what you said. Be careful with your words. Like that's, but again, most people probably don't consider words as like, something that causes change in matter and in personage and all of it. And words carry frequency. So of course they're going to change matter when spoken or thought, whatever the case is.
They're so incredibly powerful.
Exactly. So thank you for being so careful with your words. And yes, I think I'm going to just gobble this book up because I know that you have economically written, right? You're not just out here filling up pages because it's a penny a word. Like there's going to be thought. And my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. Excited. I love good writing. You don't understand. I don't understand. Like people who are so intelligent that they can say, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow down and talk with you because every word I say needs to be the words I need you to hear. Like that level of intellect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
10 out of 10 recommend for everybody. Like stop talking so much.
We'll be back after this message from Somo Publishing House. You don't want to miss the second half of this Black Writer Doula Therapy session when Enia Oaks and Ella Shawn talk about how getting closer to the heart of self creates a closer connection with community.
Do you feel it? That tug? The one whispering, it's time to finally tell your story. At Southern Momentum Publishing House, we know that tug well. It's the start of something bigger. Your voice, your truth, your power on the page. Whether it's been years in the making or just an idea waiting to blossom, we are here to help you take the leap. No excuses, no waiting, just momentum. Visit us today at somopubhouse.org and start your next chapter now.
Welcome back to the Black Writer Doula Therapy Podcast with Enia Oaks and Ella Shawn, host and unlicensed therapist.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's something that I really, like I said, do appreciate about myself now. If I were to trace it down to its origins, I imagine it's rooted in, the need to show up and present in a certain way. And that in itself, as a Black woman is rooted in trauma always. But the biggest key, I think, like you said, is the learning the pause. Once you really kind of train yourself to become comfortable with silence, you kind of reclaim your ability to show up exactly how you intend, because silence is uncomfortable, and particularly if you're, in a race for gender that feels like you're always being watched by everybody.
Because you are always being watched.
Yeah, you go to work, everyone's watching everything that you do, the emotional tone with which you say everything. And, it can be anxiety provoking unless you just reclaim silence, and you're like, I am going to take as much time as I need to express myself because I know that it's extremely consequential, everything that comes out of my mouth. So it's a I don't know, strength now, but it came from a place of, trying to figure
survival.
Survival.
I was going to say, could you imagine living like that? Like that's not how we live. But I'm like, I could take myself out of it. And could you imagine living like that? It's like to hear it spoken. And because like when you're in it, you're not thinking about being in it. You're just in it, right? You're in it, you're surviving and you're moving forward, hopefully upward and onward. But to hear it expressed in such a way as you've expressed it, my mind says, can you imagine living like not a Black woman in America living like that?
Yeah, I went through a period of anger about it. I'll be honest about that. Like it made me feel defensive. Because it's an awareness you always have. There's I don't know what age the awareness set into my subconscious, but you always have this awareness that people are kind of watching you. And, maybe later it's because you're Black. Maybe you figure out later it's because you're this or that. But I went through a period of anger, in my late 20s where I was like, I need everybody to mind their own business. Like, I am not I'm not here for consumption. I'm not here for, speculation and judgment and all these things. I am here to live. And I had to work through that anger and being other side of it now, I'm like, it is what it is. But I definitely felt really angry about it. Like, I was like, why am I a zoo animal? Like, why is everything the Black woman does so, noteworthy, so center stage, so like everything, like, how come
Blueprint. That's all I'm going to
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah, that's the truth underlying it. But when you don't know that, it feels unfair. How you're like, how come I don't get to be anonymous? How come I don't get to be just a regular person? Anytime I walk
Mm-hmm.
in a space that is not made for me, my presence automatically is loaded.
Yeah.
It's real angry if you think about it.
Yeah. It can, and like, just like I said, hearing you say the words, like, I hear it sometimes, right? But hearing you say these words, and I'm just like, who the hell could live that way? Who is living like this? We are living like this. And that seems so crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. There. And no
All
one
Black
talks about the
women.
rage that comes with your healing journey. Like the rage. It's not a little bit of rage either. Like for me, it's like I could be so cool and calm and collected, and then it's just one little thing and a volcano, right? Like, and I'm glad I have enough control to be like, girl, not today. Not today. Jesus, take the wheel, because what? What are we doing here? But sometimes, right? Sometimes I'm like, yeah, a sky full of elephants would be a great experiment. Because what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having an out of body experience because this sounds so foreign to me. And I don't know if it's because sometimes I'm so like here in
Mm-hmm.
my own space and my own, like, my own, what is this? My own temple, that even when I'm out and about, I don't notice because I'm just like, girl, stay in the delusion. Stay in the delusion because we don't want to go to jail. I'm too pretty. I cannot.
Yeah.
I cannot. And
Yeah.
I
Actually,
hardly notice it. I hardly notice
yeah.
when I'm out.
I think that's I think that's part of healing is reclaiming yourself as the standard,
Mm-hmm.
where that's why I'm not like that anger left me, because where I am now, I'm like, that premise no longer is valid. The premise that I'm unusual or this or that, it's an invalid premise. So with
Mm-hmm.
that, it means that when I enter a space, I move around that space as if I know that I'm supposed to be there. Like, I'm not apologetic or cowering or all these things, that these like mannerisms that you learn. And at the point that I was angry about it in my 20s, I very much was still in that, like, where you're performing, acceptability. And now I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do that. I am acceptable because I'm a person. And, it's like reclaiming yourself.
Was here first. I was here first. Sometimes I just want to jump up and down, and we were here first. You are the anomaly. There's nothing natural about that. There's nothing natural.
Mm,
I'm like, nature, anytime there's like something in nature born outside of this brown and tan and situation spectrum, it's where you camouflage. Okay, in the
mm,
snow, in the ice, where humans aren't even able to live. All I'm
mhm.
saying is, okay, there, not natural, not natural, and maybe natural, but not behaving as a whole. And I say this in kind of a more sociological perspective, right? If we're looking at the behavior of a group of anything, then most animal groups are going to not exploit and destroy their habitats because this is where they live. This is how they eat. This is where they live.
Mhm.
So, but the behavior patterns aren't conducive to humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think that's getting into what we were talking about, with capitalism. Yeah. It's humans, the way that we are currently living, we're on borrowed time.
Mm-hmm.
The way we're treating our planet, the way that we're treating each other, we're on borrowed time. And,
Yes.
I don't know when that ticket is going to be up. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but it feels more imperative now than ever that the people who believe in healing and wholeness, speak up
Yes.
and start becoming the loud voices, because the voices that we've been listening to are destroying us. They're destroying us
from the inside out. It feels from the inside out.
They're destroying the planet. They're destroying our sense of humanity, like everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I think it's time for the people who have the knowledge that there's something deeper and bigger and more whole for all of us to like speak up, you know? And I hope, you know, to be one of those voices, but no, I hope to be one of those voices, period. That comes with it comes with some fear, you know, because you're like, who am I? But at the same time, you know, if I'm reclaiming this way of being inside of my own life, you know, then I think I have enough knowledge to share it with other people, you know, and that's simply the qualification I decided on. I'm like,
that's all you need, right? That's enough. I have this knowledge. I've written a book. You've written a book.
Yeah.
And I am not belittling that, right? Because everybody says, I'm going to write a book. It's not easy writing a book. That process is like, cut me open and let me bleed out. And then let me figure how to put the stuff that I'm going to keep back inside. Fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't really matter because you are still pouring yourself onto the page. Like writers who write and write, right? Not all writers are writers. Some writers are, writers who write, they understand the blood, right? And so, and then you hand it off to people. Here's my blood. Here's my whole self. Don't judge it. Just read it and get from it, right? But you've written a book. That's all the knowledge you need. And you're human. You are human. And you are like, that's all you need. You have something to say it, because goodness knows people are out here on their soapboxes spewing ridiculousness like it is the gospel.
Actual nonsense.
And so, yes, please hurry, get the soapbox. I will go get it for you. A microphone, anything. Okay, yeah, because we need more of this beautiful language that you deliver so carefully. I cannot tell you how much I love it, because I know you're thinking and you're not you're listening and you're not sitting here thinking, what am I going to say next? No, you're listening and then you're thinking. And then I love that. You are awesome. You're welcome. You are welcome. So I'm going to just shut up and let you tell the audience what you love about this book, how you think this book is going to impact them, and all the things, because I just want to hear you talk.
Yeah. I think what I love most about this book is that it's honest and it's the most vulnerable expression of these soul level truths that I have learned up to this point in my life. And it contains knowledge that I myself, like this book, I also wrote for me. And when I think about it, it's the book I would have wanted to have, you know, when I was 22, specifically as a woman, you know, the permission to reclaim your softness, but understanding that that's not weakness by any stretch of the imagination is revolutionary. It was in my own self. You know, I have an older brother, and, you know, you grow up, you know, you kind of follow your brother around, and, you know, you adopt, you know, the ways that you think you're supposed to be, like, oh, don't cry, like, don't be a girl, like, don't cry. And the messaging from a young age is that the way that you are as a woman, a girl child, is weak, when in fact it is so natural to cry. It's so healing to admit that level of vulnerability to yourself, you know, that allows you to cry. Book is just so many different, your soul, like reclaim connection with your soul, because that really is, in my opinion, the core of happiness, is when you're living to your. But I think what I was saying is, as I get older, the knowledge I imagine will continue to grow and the database gets updated and everything like that. But I'm like, as far as I understand it today, this is how one can find their happiness within their own life. It really comes down to the internal liberation of self, to be connected to your soul. And that's centered around a few different themes. And that's really what I hope to give whomever reads this book. Those permissions that are like, actually, you're not broken. You're not, you're not weak. You're not out of place. You're not all of these messages that we absorb from these different places that are incorrect. Because no human is defective, unless you're committing evil, then it's my opinion that you are defective. But no human who is honest about, living their life and, treating people well and things like that, like, you are not defective. It's about undoing the messages you've taken in. So, yeah.
I love that you said that little girls are like, I didn't want to act like a girl, right? Like, don't be a girl. I keep thinking, like, that's what I grew up with. But you act like a girl. You act like a little girl. Or if they wanted to insult a boy.
The highest insult is to be called you're being like a girl.
And so my question is, how are these men growing up to like women?
They don't.
Well, so horrible. And I certainly think they don't. I don't think they like women.
That's a whole other discussion.
People. That is such a whole other discussion. Because now I want to.
Like if you grow up in the is the worst thing you can be called is being a girl. Number one, what does that do to all the girls? Their psyche. But number two, what does that do to all the men? The boys who grow into men.
I think we see that.
Because
I think we've seen what it does to them.
Yeah, I think we're observing it in real time. We're observing the realities of what happens when the message that you receive is that the worst thing that you can do for yourself is to connect with the part of yourself that feels like we're in real time witnessing the effects of that.
I think so. And yeah, now this has been the most philosophical day. I am going to need a red wine after this. Y'all are really bringing in. But yes, the worst thing a boy can be is a girl, or like girl things. And now I'm like, yeah, maybe they don't, because I wouldn't. I mean, how would you like? Yeah. Okay. Another show. Let me know if you want to come on and talk about it. That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay. All right. 108 notes on existence, not living. Why existence?
I think existence encapsulates the entirety of our human experience. Because there is the living, but there's also just the being. I think the living and the being both together are what comprise existence. And it just felt like a more complete title for what I hoped to accomplish with the book.
I love that because I've always juxtaposed existence to living, whereas you kind of made existence the umbrella for living and being. Because the living is what we are doing. And then being is I love that. Okay. I love that. Very awesome. Okay. Now, where can readers get your book?
So my book is available everywhere books are sold. The asterisk right now is you may not find it in smaller bookstores. We're still working on that piece, but it is on Barnes & Noble, the website. It's also on Amazon. Those are the two main. And then on my personal website, eniaoaks.com, it's a limited number, but these book bundles that come with a journal, the book, and then a bookmark, and then a personal note. So those you can get on my website, but I think I only have, maybe 5 or something left. So those are almost sold out. But mainly Amazon. Oh, wow. Yeah, mainly Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
I love that. The book bundle. Okay. We're going to roll on to 5 for 5. It never takes 5 minutes, but I'm going to try. I do this all the time.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. Okay. I should probably let you know. I throw out some information about you and I say, chat, give me some really great questions. She gives me 30. I blindly choose 5. So let's see what we're going to ask. Oh, I never know. So when you wrote this book, you said you were writing for you. Were you thinking about the possible readers who would read the book?
Absolutely. One of my core beliefs is that we are all so connected and so alike that in writing for myself and in my own healing journey, the understanding that all the things that I've been through and experienced as difficult, there are so many other people probably going through the same exact and, feeling that way too. So I absolutely had the readers in mind as well. Cause I'm like, if I feel this way, I know other people feel this way.
Other people too,
Yeah.
and other people are out there like, man, I wish I had only gone through what you went through, like that law of relativity, right? Relatively
Hmm.
speaking, what's
Hmm.
happened to me is like someone would be like, man, that's all? That's all? Because let me tell you something, right? Where in your journey have you stood at a personal reckoning and what helped you begin again? I just talked about that. Good job, Jen.
Yeah. So when I actually quit my job about a year ago because I was burned out, I was at a personal reckoning of where I wanted to go with my life. Medicine is a really difficult thing to contemplate walking away from just because so much time and energy and money has gone into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just allowed myself to not figure out the answer. And till today, I still haven't figured out the answer. I'm still practicing, but I just let myself off the hook. And I said, just go just go live, go reconnect with your people, go like find joy again, go with
Mm-hmm.
your own
Mm-hmm.
self and trust that in time the answer will reveal itself. So we're still in the middle of it, of that said but I've taken the pressure off myself to figure it out.
Okay, so here's a follow-up question, which is why I never end in 5 minutes. You said I just took the pressure off myself. Do you find that mostly the pressure comes from you in the first place?
Yes, asterisks. Um,
Uh-huh.
since
Yes.
it comes primarily from you, but I think most, if not all women who are connected to any type of family structures, there are invisible roles you hold up that any decision you make will have ripple effects. So it is self-imposed pressure. However, with the recognition that nothing I do will affect only me in isolation. And that can be heavy to hold. I have to give myself permission to put that down as well. But yeah, yes, asterisks.
I really TED Talk. Can we get you on? Your language is beautiful. I'm so serious. Like I love words so much. And like I love words. And so to be around a person who is so like, it sounds like music to me, right? When I'm listening to you and it's not the cadence, it's like the energy behind your words. It sounds like music to
Well,
me.
thank
Like I'm getting teary eyed because it's so beautiful. I could literally just listen to you talk all day because it's
you.
the energy that I'm vibing with. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. And I think you're right. As women, yes, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because we're taught to do that. I don't think it's
Mhm.
something innate. I think that we are taught that we have to be the mules, come on, Zora, of the world, right? And so we do. So I'm glad you're able to put that down. It's a thing that I am learning to put down. And I think it's only because my girls are getting older, right?
Mm,
And they're because as a mom,
mhm.
you will carry that pack until the day you kick the bucket because that's just the way it is. And I had to
Yeah.
come to my own choice about motherhood. Like, yeah, am I really still in motherhood or am I mothering them anymore? So what am I doing?
Mhm.
Something has to transition. I can't transition. I can't keep growing if I stay in motherhood.
Mm. Oh.
Like, because I am a selfish woman. As a woman, I know I am selfish. I like my time.
Mhm.
I like my quietude. I like silence. No,
Mhm.
mothers can't want those things because it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And so I'm like, so maybe I'm sliding away from motherhood, and I am the parent of adult children.
Yeah.
I think is how I'm going to phrase that, so that I don't feel always obligated, like this need to hover and provide, and because they have to learn to do all these things. And so, yeah.
I think I think that the reclamation of your own identity, I think, is beautiful. I've observed my own mom do the same, and she seemingly has endless energy. So even while she was raising all five of us, she was still doing her own thing, and even more so now that my youngest sister just graduated college, and it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful to watch because I'm like, you're a whole person, you're a whole ecosystem, you're a whole. There's a
That
whole lot of
part.
there's a whole lot of
But
person in
it's
there.
so easy to forget. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's easy to forget though. Yeah,
yeah.
because you become so and so's mom or Mrs. So and so,
Mhm,
and then you're like, who's Vicky? I don't hear that name anymore. Yes.
mhm.
Um, weird, weird. I don't even know why I was thinking about that now, but okay. Oakland Remix, what would the title and first note of your own city-based collection be? You had your own city.
If I had my own city, what would be
What the title of your book if you were naming it after your own city?
I love this question. It's also difficult. It would still be from a studio in something like from a studio inside of your own wholeness or something like the city being named wholeness or something around that, like a city
Ooh.
where abundant inclusion and just you know these themes are the education that kids are getting when they're young,
Mhm.
and the city people are just so communal and committed to upholding and uplifting each other.
Mhm.
That would be beautiful.
Oh my gosh, you gave me my whole fantasy. Like that's the dream I have, right? That everything is so communal and it's a need that
Hmm.
I think so many of us have because ancestrally that there's a communal history there. I gave all my daughters rites of passages at several different times in their lives because they don't have that here. There's no rite of passage to womanhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that was important to me. I love that. It's from a studio inside community. I don't know. I think that'd be beautiful. Whatever you could make up a word to try to describe that. That'd be dope. Um, Taking up space. When have you dimmed your light and how might you reclaim it? I don't see you dimming your light, but maybe you did.
I think I did for a long time. I think I always had
Hmm.
this feed way in my because old just all the time. But
Start
when
over. You're breaking up. I didn't hear any of that. And it's fine. I can edit it out, but yeah.
oh, can you hear me now?
Hmm. You're good.
Yeah, I was saying that I think that there have been times in my life where I have dimmed my light because I've carried around this fear that I'm odd in just the way that I think about things, and I've always been this way. But then when you're, a teenager and you're in your 20s and you just want to, be cool and hang out, like no one no one wants to talk about the layers of of their existence. Like it's like weird. It's like, can you relax for like 2 seconds? So I think that for a long time, I learned to just like play cool is the best way that I'll
Mhm.
describe it. Um, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, whatever. This is who I-
Absolutely. Look, I'm
yeah.
just sitting here like, girl, this is my junior year. So I'm like old, right? So this is back in the 90s. It's my junior year and I'm on the prom committee. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we should so call our prom Future Love Paradise Crickets. Crickets. But I had just been listening to CO. He had first came out back in the 90s and he had
Yeah.
a great song. And I was like, Future Love Paradise would be so amazing.
They're
But
like, relax.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? Future life. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think most people who know the know and knowing it and keep knowing it, they have known it forever. And you seem a little odd.
Mm,
And I like being odd personally. I kept it going. Yeah,
I love
I,
it
I
now for
kept it
sure.
going. Yeah, be okay. I think this is my last question. Told you we were not going to hit it in 5, but we get to go to my favorite part of the podcast. Play a game. Okay. Anywho, what ritual or creative act can root you in your own evolution? Come with it, Jeff. With it.
Wait, say that again.
Sure. What ritual or creative act can root you in your own evolution?
I am an advocate for writing, absolutely, through and through. I think that everyone has, different ways that resonate with them to get back in touch with themselves. And
You're frozen. I don't know if you can hear me. And yeah, okay. I think you said that you'd advocate for writing.
yes, I would advocate for writing. I think that it's an accessible way to just communicate with yourself and, be in conversation with yourself.
I love that. And, less likely to get you put away somewhere for talking to yourself all the time. As I do. I talk to myself all
Yes.
the time. Mostly it's through my characters, right? Because I'm just trying to figure everything out, but also try telling people that, and it's not going to go well for you. Are you ready for a game?
You
Are. You are. This game is called The Audacity of Game Changers, and that would be Black women writers and, how we change pretty much everything we touch, because why not? Why wouldn't we? I have these little decks of cards. I don't know if you can see them all, but they kind of look like,
I can't. Okay, I see them.
yes. So I have 10 decks of them. And so I just need you to pick a number 1 through 10.
7.
Okay. I am a miracle worker. I do believe I'm a miracle worker. Every person who has come on my show this season has chosen 7. I had one person to choose 8. I don't know what that means. I think maybe all of you guys are in alignment, because that is so weird. But yeah. Okay. I have the word audacity. Yeah. I just need you to choose a letter
Okay.
from the word audacity.
C.
Very good. I love this. How are you with fiction?
I don't really read fiction, but we can go for it.
Today's your lucky day, because you get to, do you see anything? I have my stinky bird there.
Change.
That is
Yes.
the word you have to use in your story that you're going to share with us, and your impromptu flash write short story. And your topic is growth and resilience. And you're just telling a little fictional story. You get up to 5 minutes, and your time starts now.
So once upon a time, you can tell I don't read fiction. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who was very energetic. She bounced all over the walls and climbed all over the furniture, and climbed trees and wanted to be everywhere all at once. Everyone kept telling her, her aunt and her mother, that she was too wild and that she needed to learn how to be proper, but she didn't feel proper inside. But she learned anyway. So she practiced and grew and became so proper, but inside she always restless. One day she was walking in the forest and she came across another small boy who was sitting and crying by a tree. And she asked him, "Why are you crying? What's going on?" And he said that his kite had gotten stuck in the tree. It was a very special kite to him. It had been given to him by his grandfather, who had passed away, and he was very distraught. It was also a very valuable kite that he wasn't supposed to have taken out or lost, and he didn't know what to do. And she looked up at the tree and she saw the kite hanging on the second lowest branch, and she thought, I could definitely go get that. But then she thought, that's not very proper. I don't think her and my aunts would like it if I climbed this tree. And the boy was crying, and she felt sad watching him, and she didn't know what to do. So she could not stop the kite. The next day, she and had forgotten about the kite, and again came up the same tree. The love was no longer there, but she said, I don't think anybody will see. They don't have to know that I'm going to climb this tree to get this kite. I'm going to do it. So she climbed up the tree and easily got the kite down. and jumped down and felt so happy and so proud of herself. She ran straight to the other village and found the little boy and gave him meat. And he was so happy. He went and told his parents, and they were so thankful and were also very rich. And as a reward for bringing back this relic from the grandfather, they gave her a large sum of money to take to her family to thank them for raising such a thoughtful and capable young child. So she went back, but she was afraid because she would have to tell her family that she climbed the tree and was improper to get the kite. But she went back and she told them, and they sat down and they were so thankful for the money. They very much needed it. And when they sat down, they said, maybe proper isn't what we should be teaching you. Maybe we should have been teaching you how to allow yourself to change in situations when the situation needs it. Maybe the valuable lesson is that you can be resilient and adapt to what it calls for, and maybe that's the worthwhile way to be. And she felt very happy, and her aunt and her mother hugged her, and everyone lived happily ever after.
And you say you
Yeah.
don't do friction? This is a whole children's
No.
book. Yeah, this is a whole children's book. Because I was like, being proper will not let you have your humanity. This is a whole children's book. I loved it.
That was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I told you you would love it. Everybody loves it when they do it. I can't wait to get this back to you. I like to take the stories, and I don't do any editing for the most part, not unless the word didn't come through or whatever. But I like to take them, separate it out, put it to music, and create a little video to send back to my guests to say thank you so much for sharing this part of yourself with me. And I cannot wait to do this because I absolutely love this story. It's so nice. You did a great job. You did an amazing job.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, it's time to go. And it's time for us to say, yeah.
Goodbye.
Fun.
Well, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on, for having this platform, for doing what you're doing, and, giving the space that you are for writers and, Black writers and Black female writers to come on and just share stories. I really appreciate it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Look, don't be a stranger. Like, really, I am going to not stalk you because, but I believe you're going to be one of these game changers. I think you're the game changer. And so I'm going to,
wow.
Seriously, your energy, you just, And so, yeah, game changer. I'm going to say looking and invite you back. Hopefully you'll have room in your busy schedule that's going to say, oh yeah, I remember her. I'll be back. Say yes. I'm just kidding. I see big things is all I'm saying. So yeah, tell your listeners, my listeners, how they can get in touch with you, how they can support what you are, doing, how you are moving in the world, all the good stuff.
Yes. I'm so sorry it keeps happening. Perfect. So you can, my website, eniaoaks.com. I'm also at Enia_Oaks. And there I read, my essays and poems, a lot from my book and things like that. Yeah. So I am available through
website. And did you say Instagram? And yeah, I swear to Bob, nobody wants us to finish this session.
I know. But oaks.com.
On Instagram?
Correct. Yes.
Very good. I have had a pleasure. You have been amazing and seriously inspirational. You've said so many things that I'm going to be journaling about, thinking about. Yeah, please keep writing and maybe think about fiction, children's books. I think you have a gift there. I'm so serious. I think you have a little gift. Yeah, when you hear this back, when I get this to you, you're going to be like, wait, really? Really? It was really good. Seriously.
I'm excited to get it back.
Yeah, it's so good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure meeting.
This has
You
been so
are,
fun.
that's all I want to hear. I'm so serious. This has been so fun because I listen to other podcasts and I'm like, boy, they sound like they're at a funeral. Not over here. Not over here. If you ever want to come back on just to shoot the breeze or you write another book or you have something going on, in all honesty, just send me an email. I'll bump somebody out of the way and get you on. Because I absolutely adore you. I think that you are definitely going to pave ways for us. So thank you.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. And I
You're
receive
welcome.
everything
You
you
are
said.
welcome. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Big brag. Big brag. Life is life. Life is life.
Yeah.
So, be safe, please, because good grief. Be safe. All right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, sweetie.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I
Bye-bye.
see you. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Black Writer Therapy, where we amplify and celebrate the voices of unapologetic Black women writers. We're proud to be part of the Alive Podcast Network. Be sure to tap into the only Black woman-owned podcast network with its very own proprietary platform and app. When you download the Tap In app, you gain access to nearly 100 Black creative voices. To support Black Writer Therapy, subscribe and choose me as your favorite podcast host. 50% of your subscription fee goes directly to this show and allows me to continue to bring you quality content like this. Until next time, remember, be kindest to yourself first, always, and in all ways. I am Alishan, your host for Black Writer Therapy Podcast.